All right, everyone. We made it to June 16th, the premiere of season 2. I am hyped. Welcome to my weekly, for the next 8 weeks, videos on my predictions I'm going to make. So there's 8 episodes in the second season, so I'll be doing this till early August. I'm super excited, and again, happy premiere day of season 2. I'm going to be making some predictions for season 2, episode 1, A Son for a Son on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, everyone. This episode should be good. I don't think it'll be like the best episode of the season, but I think it's going to be a good one. Guys, there's gonna obviously be pretty spoilers in here, so if you don't want to watch it, you can watch it after and see how accurate I am, because we're gonna play a game per week on this to see how accurate I am. I got my let's see if I can get in the camera, my Hacker Shore. I might be doing some zinning, and I got my copy of Fire and Blood right here. So let's get into it. I will try to keep this pretty short, guys. These prediction videos I'll try and keep under 10 minutes, not like my other ones. So thanks, team. Thanks, subscribers, for liking and watching. Appreciate it. But again, every Sunday before each episode, 3 to 4 hours before, I will post these. And they will be spoilery, obviously, and I might be wrong on some of these, so it might not be super spoilery, and some of these predictions I'm making might not even happen. I will be sharing my 3 to 5 major predictions that I think will happen each episode. And of course, I will use Fire and Blood material as well to back my predictions up. So here's the game, guys. Here's the game that I think will be fun. Keep this page interesting. If I go 4 for 4, I win. However, if I go 3 for 4, I will chug 1 beer next week. If I go 2 for 4 on these predictions, I will chug 2 beers. And if I go 3 for 4 or 4 for 4 incorrect, I will chug a Das Boot thing that I have. It's huge. It's like 3.5 beers for next week's video. And again, so guys, if you don't want to be spoiled before the episode, just watch it after and see if I'm correct. I'm just trying to post these before because I'm going to be too lazy to post them after. I'm already drinking. So let's get into it. The sources that I use for the images are in the link. I pretty much just used Fire and Blood for my sources in terms of book material for this, obviously. But let's get into the first prediction. All right, guys. So Daemon at Harrenhal. So it appears evident to me from the show that Daemon will go to the Riverlands and rally the Black River Lords at Harrenhal. The majority of the River Lords are Team Black at the beginning of the dance, besides the Brackens and the Vances of Atrana. So the Brackens are rivals with the Blackwoods. You actually see that in season 1, episode 4, when the Bracken kid gets killed by the Blackwood kid after fighting for Rhaenyra. I'm fairly sure that's book accurate, but we don't really need to get into that right now. You can see Harrenhal there. So Daemon will rally the troops at the biggest castle in the center of the continent, and he's gonna win, guys. So we hear this in the show, and it does seem logical that he will take Harrenhal in the first episode. Now, I think we could also see the civil war in the first episode in the Riverlands. I could be wrong on this, between the Greens, Brackens, and the Blackwoods. So there's 2 significant battles: the Battle of Burney Mill and Stonehenge, and I could maybe see them doing clips of this. But Daemon will succeed in taking over Harrenhal, and the rest of the Greens in the Riverlands, I think, will be crushed by the end of episode 1. So the Blacks will have control of the Riverlands by the end of episode 1. I hope you're reading the quote. I'm not gonna read quotes to you off the screen, but that kind of summarizes what I think is going to happen in the first episode in the Riverlands with Daemon. And as we can see from the quote, I have a feeling Aegon is starting to feel nervous, which leads me to my next big prediction. Let's go to the next slide, guys. So Daemon at Harrenhal, conquering the Greens is my first prediction. So Aegon the Second and Otto tension. So I'm pretty into this, like, little. I think this will be a cool little subplot, because I mean, Otto kind of helped Aegon get on to become king, like, massively, you could argue, and Aegon, like, instantly is like, "Screw you, Grandpa." So you can read those 2 quotes that I have there that I think demonstrate this. So this prediction will lead to another prediction I will most likely be making next week around with Aegon and Otto, but I won't spoil that prediction quite yet. Essentially, what I want to show here is the building tension between the king and his grandsire, the Hand of the King, Otto, and I think we will see that tension be building in this first episode. Basically, Otto will be very conservative in his approach to the war, where Aegon is a little more erratic and aggressive. and this will lead to tension between them, and I think you'll see that tension in the first season. Otto's approach essentially, in the first episode, Otto's approach essentially is to write letters and be rational to gain alliances. You could argue where Aegon thinks they need to be aggressive and more forceful and be like, "No, I am the king. Like you bend your knee." So you'll see a more aggressive Aegon, I think, in this first episode, and definitely by the second episode. You'll see why later. But we will see a pretty big character and personality shift. Um, Basically, the takeaway is Aegon thought his grandpa would be more competent as an Otto than he will be during the first episode. And you can see by these two quotes that there's going to be some trouble for the Greens in this first episode, guys. So that should be pretty interesting. So again, my second prediction here is growing tension between Aegon and Otto throughout the episode, with where Aegon thinks Otto is essentially being incompetent, and Otto thinks he's being rational, and Aegon needs to calm down, basically. But it will accelerate in episode 2, I think, and I'm not going to spoil that next prediction. But after my beer sip, let's move to the third prediction. All right, guys. Jace at the Val. So this is a very long quote from Fire and Blood on page 415, but I think it's worth reading. I think this is almost going to happen verbatim, this quote, in the first episode. So Jace will for sure be in the Val. We know this because we see Lady Jane Eyre in the trailer. Fun fact for you guys: Lady Jane Eyre is little like uh, promiscuous. In the books, she apparently is like trying to hook up with Jace. I think it's hilarious. I don't know if they're going to do that, but apparently she's fairly promiscuous. She's kind of a badass too, actually. But you'll see in the quote, you can see from her locking up her cousin Sir Arnold. She's like, "Yeah, screw you, women can rule," which I do respect. I do respect that. So again, Jace will for sure be in the Val, and again, Lady Jane Eyre is a cousin Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra's banners have the Arryn quartered sigil on it because Rhaenyra's mom was an Arryn through her dad. So Rhaenyra's mom's dad was an Arryn. That's why she has the blonde hair, because Rhaenyra's mom's mom was actually Daella Targaryen, who was a Targaryen. But anyways, Lady Jane Eyre, again, is the cousin to Rhaenyra and Jace, technically. Jace will convince the Arryns and subsequently the rest of the Vals to the black side. So the liege lords to the Val are very loyal to the Arryns, kind of like the Starks, similar concept. So they will all side. And the quote you can kind of see. I'm pretty sure they all, in this word of man, the Val and its knights shall stand with her. So that kind of a and the quote where it says, "And so the prince agreed, and Lady Jane knelt before him and bade her warriors kneel." We can kind of assume that the entire Vale sided with him then. And I think this will happen probably in the middle of episode 1. So what is also kind of cool that I wanted to mention about this quote is, as we can see, the Val is impregnable, and they say that in, I think, like episode 4 of Game of Thrones, where Bran is talking to Tyrion, and Bran's like, I can impregnate that, and Tyrion's like skeptical because it's like super hard to like get into the Vale because it's in a very mountainous region. It's kind of like the Denver of Westeros. It's like the Rocky Mountains of Westeros. So basically, Jane is like, Jay, send me dragon riders so I can defend myself, because actually during the conquest, Visenya basically just drove Vagar right into the center courtyard of the Val of Arryn, and they just gave up because like the boy king was like, "Let me ride on your dragon, Visenya," and the what's what would the like the regent, her mom was like, "Yeah, we give up." So basically, like Visenya took the Val over really quickly, and this is what this is referring to, this quote. And she's like, "Bring me dragon riders, Jace." So Jace, this is my final point here, guys. So Jace will send Joffrey with Tyraxes, his dragon, which they've mentioned, and I believe we will see and hear about this for sure in that episode, alongside with Rhaena and her hatchling. So Rhaena will go with Joffrey, actually, because I'm pretty sure they'll mini little prediction. I think they're gonna have Joffrey now be betrothed to Rhaena, so the youngest son of Rhaenyra and Hard Strong. Joffrey will be now betrothed to Laena, because now that Luke is dead, that's not really a spoiler. I think that's another minor prediction I'll make there, but that'll be pretty cool. So uh, we might see Joffrey and Rhaena at some point in the Vale during this season. I don't think in this episode. But that, again, my third prediction: Jace of the Val gets the entire Val on his side and initiates Joffrey and Rhaena going to the Val with Rhaena's hatchling and Joffrey's dragon Tyraxes to protect the bow. Let's move on to the last one. Guys, I will admit this last one I'm going to be pretty blunt. I didn't put a quote. I'm not going to hard spoil this. I'm just going to leave the picture here, guys, because I think this is almost too hard of a spoil even for a prediction video. It's blood and cheese, guys. So it's basically like the Red Wedding. I will say this, less people die, but it's probably just as shocking as Red Wedding. You guys are all going to be like, it's pretty crazy. It's probably one of the craziest things that happens during this war. It's pretty dark. Um, this will surely change the tides of war. Let's just say that. And I will keep it at that. You can look at the image and you can take a guess, but that's all I'm going to say about this. Guys, I wrapped it up in about 10 to 11 minutes. So hopefully you guys can all give this a watch. I hope you enjoy it. Hopefully my predictions are correct, and look out for next week's video with the season 2, episode 2 predictions. We'll see how many I get correct, and I might be chugging some beers for your entertainment at the beginning of next week's prediction video. So hopefully I get these right, and if not, I'll be your entertainment next week. And happy premiere day, guys, and I am so looking forward to it. Again, if you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch this video until after. All right. Thanks, everyone. And again, happy Hot D premiere day.